Alright, we're on lesson 7. Our I can statement is I can use area models to check my work by using the standard algorithm. Today though, our area models are going to be slightly different than before. I want to stress that how we did area models before is still going to work. So our area models before will still be good. We're just going to learn a new way of creating them. And after we have this lesson, this method will also work. If you feel more comfortable using the method before, you can still do that. Alright, before we start though, let's look at this problem. The length of a school bus is 12.6 meters. If 9 school buses park end to end with 2 meters between each one, what is the total length of the front of the first bus to the end of the last bus? Well, let's start with a model, a tape diagram, and here I have a school bus. I see a school bus is 12.6, and then there's this 2 meter gap. And how many of these am I going to have? Well, I'm going to have 9 school buses. So here's 2 and a gap, 3 and a gap, 4 and a gap, 5 and a gap, 6 and a gap, 7 and a gap, 8 and a gap, and 9. I don't need a gap at the end of bus 9 because there's no school bus that's going to be parked behind it. So there's no gap at the end because that's the end, and I don't need to have space since there's not another school bus that's coming up behind it. So let's check. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 school buses. So that's going to be 12.6 times 9. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 gaps. So that's going to be 2 times 8. And then we'll add them together. This is 16. 9 times 4, or 9 times 6 is 54. 9 times 2 is 18, plus 5 is 23. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 2 is 11. So I have 113 and 4/10 plus 16. So that will be 129.4. And I put the units at the end. The total length would be 129 meters and 4/10 of a meter. Alright, so let's go to this problem. Here I have 524 times 136. What I'm going to do this time, this is going to be slightly different. I'm going to use a rectangle like always, but now I'm going to break it up because these numbers are slightly bigger. I have a 3-digit and a 3-digit. I'm going to break it up using my area model so that it's just a little bit easier to multiply. So what I'm going to do is I have 3 place values, so that will be 1, 2, 3, but this is where it's going to be different. Instead of saying hundreds, tens, ones, I'm just going to put the units there. I'm going to use that expanded form. So here's 500, 20, and 4. So instead of saying 5 in my 100 spots like I've done before, I'm just putting that 500 up there. Here's my different part now. I'm going to break this up by 136 as well. So I'm going to have 100, a 30, and a 6. It's going to look a little bit similar to how maybe you've done arrays before. And now I do 100 times 500. Well, that is 5 with 4 zeros. 100 times 20, which is 2,000. 100 times 4, which is 400. I'm just repeating the process with each of these. 600, 120, 3,000. 6 times 20 is 120. 6 times 4 is 24. And now what I do is I just add each of these components. So I have 50,000 plus 15,000 plus 3,000. And I could do it all by rows, or I can just add them all together. So here I'm just going to do this row, and I get 0, 0, 0, 8, 6. So here when I add this up, I get 68,000. Now I'm going to add my next row. So I have 2,000, 600, and 120. Add them up, and I get 2,720. And then I have my very last row. So here I have 400, 120, and 24. 544. So now, what do? Well, I have each parts, so this means I have 544 plus 2,720 plus 68,000. So now all I do is I just add them up. 4, 6, 12, carry the 1, 11, carry the 1. My answer is 7,100, or 71,264. Now am I done? No, because I want to make sure I have it right, so I'm going to use my standard algorithm to check. With my large numbers, it's really important as well, just because there's more numbers, which means more opportunities to make mistakes. 524 times 136. So I'm going to start with 6 times 4 is 24. Write that 4 down, carry the 2. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 2 is 14. Write the 4, carry the 1. Then 6 times 5 is 30, plus 1 is 31. Now I'm going to switch. I'm in my 10 spots. I'm done with my ones, so I add that 0. So I'm in my tens. 3 times 4 is 12. Carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. 3 times 5 is 15. So now I'm done with my tens. I add 2 zeros because I am in my 100 spot. And this one's easy to do just because I'm multiplying by 1. Now I add them up. My answers should be the same. If they're not, that means I have to go back and check. Carry the 1. Carry the 1. Oops. So here, notice I said an oops, meaning I have a mistake. So let's check. This place value is not the same as that one. So let's check. My thousands aren't the same. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 plus 2 is 11. So that means this should be a 1. So I check my work, and notice how they are the same now. That means my answer is correct. I can go on to my next problem. Alright, so here it's going to be the same thing. I'm going to start out with my rectangle. I'm going to have 4,000. Then I have 500. Then I have a 10 and a 9. Notice how each place value corresponds. So I'm just writing in that expanded form. And then my different part is I'm going to break up this by its place value as well. So 320 and 6. Now I'm ready to just start multiplying. So 3 times 4, that's 12. And there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. 3 times 5, that is 15. And there's going to be 4 zeros. 3 times 10 or 3 times 1 is 3, with 3 zeros. Now there's a mistake here. This number should be larger, or this number should be smaller than this number. Is 3,000 less than 1,500? No. So that means I made a mistake. So I'm going to go back and check. There should be 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. So what do I need to add? I need to add some extra zeros there. So 15 with 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. Alright, then I have 27 with 1, 2 zeros. Okay, now I have 8. 20 times 4,000 is 8 with 4 zeros. 20 times 5 is 10 with 1, 2, 3 zeros. 20 times 10 is a 2 with 2 zeros. 20 times 9, that's 180. 24,000. 30 with 2 zeros. 60. And then 6 times 9 is 54. So now what I do, I add them all up. So I have 2700, 180, 54, 4, 3, 9, 2. So this is 2934. Now I go to my next place value over, my tens. 3,260. So that number is going to be 3260. Notice how they're almost the same, this number and this number. That's because here I have 9, here I had 10. And 9 is already very close to 10. So I know my numbers would be about the same. Okay, my next one, here's my longer ones. There's lots of zeros, so I need to make sure I add the right number of zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 3,000. 0, 0, 0, 3, 6, 1. So that's going to be 1, 6, 3, 0, 0, 0. Then my last one, my largest one, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So make sure I have those 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 with that 8. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I need to make sure those place values all line up. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, carry the 1. So I have 1,304,000. Okay, so now my very last step. This does take a while, but I'm just showing another method. I have 1, 3, and I'm going to erase this just so I have more room to work. One, 3, 0, 4, 0, 0, 0. Then I have 1, 6, 3, 0, 0, 0. Then I have 3, 2, 6, 0. And then I have 2, 9, 3, 4. Now my last step is I just add them all together. 4, 9, 1. Alright, then I'm going to keep going. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 plus 2 is 10. 10 plus 3 is 13. So now let's check this answer using our standard algorithm and see if we get something that is equivalent. So I have 4, 5, 1, 9 times 326. So here I have 4 carry the 5. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 3 is 27. I'm in my 10 spots now, so I add that 0 so I can start in my 10s. 8, carry the 1. 3, 10, carry the 1. 9, 6, oops, there's my mistake. It's 2 times 4, which is 8. So let's check. I'm now not sure. So I have 2 times 9 is 8, carry the 1. 3, 10, carry the 1. Yep, so I'm good. So now I am in my 100 spot, so I add 2 zeros to be my 100. 7, carry the 2. 5, 15, carry the 1. 13. So now let's check. I add them up. 4, 9, 1, carry the 1. 3, carry the 1. 7, carry the 1. So notice my answers are the same. They are equivalent. Alright. What I want you to do is I want you to try this problem. And now what I want you to do is you're going to go on Socrative. You're going to complete your exit ticket on Socrative. You're then going to do the problem set. After problem set is done, you'll do 2 lessons on Khan Academy, and then go to Dreambox. Alright guys, good luck.